Good evening from InvestSharp. This is Randy Smoten with your Friday, May 28th market update. On the economic front, the personal income was up 0.4%, a little lighter than the expected 0.5%. Consumer spending was flat at 0%, and that was a little light because it was expected to be about 0.2%. The monthly consumer sentiment number was in line at 73.6. Forecast was 73.3. On deck for Tuesday, Monday is Memorial Day holiday. Markets are closed. So on deck for Tuesday are the monthly motor vehicle sales. We'll have the construction spending and the monthly ISM manufacturing index. The dollar and gold were up today. Silver, copper, and oil were down. Light Sweet crude futures were down 58 cents to settle at $73.97 a barrel. So looking at the dollar via the ETF UUP. So still here, looks like we're in this kind of an up channel so far, or sticking close to that. We'll see. The MACD's kind of falling here though, so well, I don't know. Maybe it'll dollar's going to pull back. I don't know, but it's MACD's definitely turned down just a little bit. It's got a little weaker as we've gone up, so we'll keep an eye on that. Let's go over and look at the West Texas Intermediate Crude Point Figure Chart. So still have our bearish price of 62, no change there. And we're right back up here, up near a resistance level around this $75 mark. We got up to 75.72 today. Let's take a look at the Dow. Dow closed down 122 points to 10,136. S&P closed down 13 points to 1,089. NASDAQ closed down 20 points to 2257. And the Russell closed down 9 points to 661. NASDAQ held up the best, down 0.91%. The Russell was the weakest, down 1.33%. And volume was a little light, but it wasn't super light. I mean, for a holiday Friday before holiday long weekend, I would thought it would even be lighter. But it was a slightly below average on most of the indices, but wasn't too bad. So taking a look at the Dow, all we did today is basic inside day here. We're still within this large bullish candle ran up yesterday. There is a little bit of a trend line resistance here, and about half, that initial resistance was here, and then about half, we're still about halfway of this large bearish candle. Let's look at the SPX. This one I want to talk about a little more, and it was the same on the Dow, but I'm just going to use the S&P 500. So same thing, just inside here, kind of a do nothing up and down day. It is typical after a big rally that we would pull back a little bit. I mean, in a long weekend, I don't think it was any that big a deal. MACD's turned up a little bit. But if you look at this chart, I mean, and it's been hit this way for a while, but I mean, I don't even know if this will play out, but it's a possibility. We've got this left shoulder here, and we've got a head. We could be building out a right shoulder over on this side, and I may have talked about this before. If that's true, that would put us down and back down in this area here as a target. In fact, we've got a little gap over here left from July of 09 that possibly might be where we're headed, is to fill this gap. And so I don't know. So it's just something to watch. We'll keep an eye on this, see if this winds up playing out or not. It may or may not. If it does, I would expect us to actually go a little bit higher up into this area before we would turn back down. So just for the shoulder. So we'll see that. The 60-minute chart on the S&P. 60-minute chart actually looks pretty good. The MACD is still pretty high. And it had some good movement here. We're hanging on. I don't know. I think it looks fine, and we didn't really have that weak of a day. It wasn't anything awful. We had that news that Fitch had downgraded Spain's credit rating, which was AAA. They downgraded it to AA plus. So I didn't think it was that horrible of a downgrade, but whatever. Still a downgrade. So, and Europe markets were closed when that came out. So we'll see how the Europe reacts first of next week to that downgrade. If it if their market takes a hit from it, which could affect us, of course, and the euro. So we'll be watching that as well. And then take a look at the NASDAQ. And the NASDAQ, like I said, held up the best. So we're just right here. We don't really have resistance of a trend line till, well, we may have a little bit right here, but there's some up here which, again, everything kind of has this head and shoulder look to it, no matter which one you look at. Let's see. Let's look at gold. Gold still looking pretty good, hanging tough, hanging right up in here. MACD looks like it's turning back up a little bit. Silver, silver's holding up all right as well. MACD's kind of turning up, so silver is looking pretty good. Copper. Copper hasn't had much of any volume here the last several days, but it's holding up all right. And let's see, XLF financials. That's not it. XLF. Again, not a lot of volume. There wasn't any heavy selling today or anything, so even though some of them were pulling back some. And the VIX. Volatility index up 8% today, back right here. So we're still up pretty high on the, obviously still pretty volatile. Probably will be that way for a while. Stocks, no change here. I've been talking about this. We're still, we've got this trend line. We have another trend line up in here, and we broke out right here of the downtrend line, and we set right on top of it and closed on top of it today. So semis actually, most of those are performing pretty well. You might want to be looking in that area for some trades. Let's see. Let's go look at the McClellan oscillator. See how our overbought oversold condition looks. Okay, so now we're at minus 26.65, so around minus 26. So not really, we're a little teeny tiny oversold. I mean, we really need to be in here to be oversold. So we're basically closer to neutral than anything else. And then overbought would be up in here on the McClellan. So what else to look at? I want to take a quick look at oil today. Let's look at the oil futures chart. So here's the oil's futures chart. We're looking at the CL. So, the MACD has actually turned up here and crossed. Let me blow this up a little bit so you can see it. So I put a Fibonacci here from the May 3rd down to the May 25th low. So we retrace. We're at a 38.2% retracement right here around this 75 area. So we've already touched that, kind of slowed down here. So we'll see how much we retrace, or if we just keep going. But we definitely so far. So we're already at 38.2%. So we actually could turn back down from here. So we'll keep an eye on that. Let's look at the sectors. So all 16 sectors were actually red today, which is the opposite of yesterday where all were green. So utility index held up the best and was down only 0.14%. The oil service index got it beat up again, was down 5.22%. It's been beaten up a lot lately. And of course, there's no chart watch on Fridays, so I'll post my weekly watch list here either Sunday, or since Monday's a holiday, may even post it Monday. So one or the other, I'll get it out there. Let's go over and take a look at the current market signals. So of course we got Dow, Nasdaq on buys, Russell's on a buy as well, S&P's still on a sell. Here's our new price objectives. No changes in those. And then we have, I was gonna look. It's Friday, so I was gonna take a quick look at the point and figure on the futures for gold. We've got this bullish price objective for the gold futures of $1,310 ounce. So it's looking pretty good. Silver's also bullish price objective of $29. So we are still on a buy signal for silver. We're right in this area, so it's looking pretty good. Copper also on a buy signal. Bullish price objective is $3.68. Move the decimal over, not 368. So also on a buy signal right up here in this area. So that's kind of how that looks, and that is really it. So that's it for today, and have a great weekend, and thanks for watching.